Have you noticed the pursuit has stopped? Not because he's leaving, not because he doesn't love you, but because something has quietly changed. The mystery has been replaced by maintenance. The spark isn't gone, the relationship isn't broken. Yet somehow, he no longer seems driven to discover you the way he once did. Most people believe the goal of a relationship is certainty, to fully understand each other, to remove all mystery, to leave nothing unexplored. But what if certainty is exactly where pursuit begins to stall? What if being completely understood accidentally removes the very thing that once kept him moving toward you? Today we're talking about the pursuit paradox. Why being fully known can sometimes weaken desire. Not because love disappears, because curiosity does. For many men, attraction isn't fueled by possession, it's fueled by progression, not having, becoming. The feeling of earning a deeper place in someone's world. At the beginning of a relationship, every interaction contains uncertainty. Every conversation reveals something new. Every moment answers one question while creating another. His mind stays engaged because there is still something left to discover. But eventually, something changes. Not emotionally, psychologically. The brain stops searching when it believes the search is complete. Think about curiosity. Curiosity only exists when information is incomplete. A mystery novel loses its power once you know the ending. A puzzle stops being interesting once it's solved. And relationships aren't immune to the same principle. The danger isn't becoming close, the danger is becoming completely predictable. This is where many people accidentally create distance while trying to create intimacy. They begin explaining everything, every feeling, every concern, every reaction, every thought. Nothing remains private, nothing remains unexplored. Everything is immediately translated into words. At first, this feels healthy, mature, communicative, but there can be an unintended consequence. Discovery gets replaced by reporting. Think about the difference. Reporting is telling him exactly why you're stressed before he even asks. Discovery is him noticing you're quieter than usual, wondering what's on your mind, moving toward you to find out. When you report, you remove the question, and pursuit requires questions. You take away the chase before it has a chance to begin. This connects to something most people never notice. The more anxious someone becomes about being understood, the more they tend to over-explain themselves. Every disappointment becomes a conversation, every mood shift gets translated, every emotion gets processed immediately. The intention is usually good. They want connection. But connection and constant explanation are not the same thing. Sometimes over-explaining creates a strange atmosphere, an atmosphere where nothing is left for discovery, nothing is left for observation, nothing is left for curiosity. The relationship slowly becomes emotional surveillance, everything is monitored, everything is explained, everything is processed, and eventually something important disappears. Wonder. I want you to be honest with yourself for a second. Are you explaining everything because you want intimacy, or because you're afraid that if you don't, he'll lose interest? Because the irony is that the constant narration is often what creates the loss of interest. Desire has a strange relationship with space, not distance, space. Imagine a rubber band stretched between two people. When there is tension, there is energy, movement, potential. But if both ends collapse together, the rubber band goes limp. The tension disappears. Desire works similarly. Not because people need separation, because they need individuality. There must remain parts of your life that belong to you. Your interests, your experiences, your inner world, your private joy. If you're always the one closing the gap, there is no room for him to move toward you. There is no room for curiosity. There is no room for pursuit. Sometimes attraction doesn't need more closeness, it needs more breathing room. This is where self-possession becomes powerful, and many people misunderstand what that means. Self-possession isn't about having secrets, it's about having a private life. It's the hobbies, thoughts, interests, and joy that don't need to be uploaded for approval. It's having experiences that belong to you first. It's knowing who you are even when nobody is validating it. A self-possessed woman doesn't spend all day trying to be understood. She spends her day living. She has interests that exist outside the relationship, goals that don't require permission, joy that isn't dependent on attention. When you belong to yourself, there are always new parts of you waiting to be discovered, not because you're withholding, because you're evolving, and evolving people remain interesting. So what happens if pursuit has faded? The answer isn't becoming unavailable. The answer is becoming less predictable. Not strategically, genuinely. Stop narrating every thought. Let some experiences belong to you before they become conversations. Allow your actions to speak before your explanations arrive. Second, reconnect with independent joy. Spend a day doing something that genuinely excites you, not because it improves the relationship, because it improves your relationship with yourself, then come back carrying that energy. Not a report, not a presentation, just the energy itself. Finally, reduce unnecessary emotional management. If you're constantly initiating conversations about the relationship, pause. Not as a tactic, as an experiment. See what happens when there is room. See whether curiosity has a chance to return. The truth is, pursuit was never meant to end. Not because someone wins you once, because nobody ever fully arrives at another human being. The healthiest relationships continue unfolding. There are always new layers, new experiences, new perspectives, new versions of each other waiting to emerge. That's what keeps discovery alive. That's what keeps curiosity alive. And often, that's what keeps pursuit alive. Love may be a safe harbor, but desire has always needed a little bit of open water. So here's the question: have you ever noticed someone becoming less curious the more you explained yourself? And what happened when you stopped reporting every detail and started returning to your own life? Tell me in the comments.